Hey guys, it's Bea. Welcome back to the farm. I wanted to hop on today and wish you a happy New Year's. I hope that your 2021 was as awesome as ours was, and I hope that your 2022 is even better. It has been super cold on the farm for about a week. We have had record low temperatures, consistently in the 20s, like high of 22, 24, which is crazy for Seattle. And I'm definitely a frost tender flower, just like Jess at Roots and Refuge, but I've actually really enjoyed it because the farm has just looked so beautiful. So I figured I could bundle up and take you guys outside and just show you how incredibly stunning the farm looks covered in snow. Today is the warmest day we have had in almost a week, so things are just starting to melt. Under the snow, we've got our little broccoli. I think they're gonna hang in there. Rosemary tree is unfazed. Gotta say, I am getting really excited to start some seeds and get some things going. I know that seems kind of weird to say when the whole farm is covered in snow, but it is time. People are ordering their seeds, everyone's talking about it, and I'm getting so excited. And while we're growing more flowers than ever before this year, what my heart is really excited about right now today on New Year's Eve is the vegetable garden. I've been working on my planting plan for the veg garden, and I'm just so excited. This is going to be the best vegetable garden I've ever grown. I'm going to hit all 3 seasons. We're going to do spring, summer, and fall, and we'll even plant a winter garden, and we'll see how it goes. I tried a few things last year, so I have a little bit under my belt, and I think if I plant just a tad bit earlier, we can definitely have some really big harvests right around Christmas. The tunnel held up so well during the snow. We were definitely a little bit nervous. This is our first winter with the high tunnel, but she did absolutely great. We did have to go out and knock the snow off of it, so that was new. It's kind of funny because most years we don't get snow like this, and I really didn't anticipate that in our first year we would have to do that chore at all, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Sore arms a little bit, but it's keeping our winter muscles strong. Let's actually go in and take a look at what's going on in the tunnel right now. It's a bit of a mess. She needs a little bit of a tidy, but things are looking okay. One thing that was kind of funny that I didn't anticipate about the tunnel is that when it's covered in snow, it gets really dark in here. And I should have known that would be a thing, but I just hadn't thought of it before. If you're new here, you will have noticed that we have the ends of the tunnel off. We have not installed the doors yet, and that's because we're growing tulips in here, and tulips need to have the cold. So that's why we did that, and this week they got what they needed. If you look closely, you can see that we are actually getting some that are starting to sprout, which I'm totally okay with. I'm totally fine with being the first people in the region or the neighborhood to have tulips. And these crates over here I set aside because these are what I'm going to be planting our ranunculus in. If you've been following the channel for the last month or so, you know that I have been pre-sprouting ranunculus. I had them in the tunnel before the cold got here, and then I moved them in the house when I saw the forecast, and they have taken off. I was kind of iffy on germination, like it was a little spotty, but they've been in a fairly cool room under the lights getting consistent water, and they've just taken off. It's actually time to up pot them a little bit, so they will go in those crates that I just showed you behind me as soon as we get a slightly warmer forecast. One of my favorite things is to look at all the paw prints and tracks that we get in the snow. They're so sporadic, they go in circles. It's just kind of adorable. Of course, my mind is a little bit on flowers. as always. We have our Field A that you're probably pretty familiar with. I have that all planned out, and I've actually decided to make some changes to Field B and Field C. Field B, this is half of it where all of those dead sunflowers are, or the stalks rather. Field B ends about here. There's a walkway, and then we've got a little 20 by 50 foot Field C here, and that's a big pile of compost. We still have to finish setting up Field C. But I was looking at our planting plan and I realized that I could really use a couple additional rows. Making that decision is going to allow me to try to perennialize my dahlias, which is going to cut labor on the farm big time. That walkway between Field B and Field C is going away, and I'm going to be able to get in about 3 or 4 extra rows just by eliminating that path. I really liked the idea of having a walkway there. That way we would have multiple ways to get to the back of the property through the fields, but I need the space to grow, and we do have our main walkway, so I think it'll be okay. And of course we have all the paths in between our rows, so if you're just a person and you're not equipment, you could always sneak through that way too. Here is that main pathway I'm talking about. I cannot wait because at some point I'm gonna get to do some decorative type stuff, and I'm thinking maybe I can put like one big pot there, and here at the entrance on both sides, and it'll just make a really nice promenade through the fields to the back of the property. Some of my future plans for the vegetable garden include going ahead and putting covered hoops on these beds right here, the wooden ones, so that we can grow some of those things in the winter. And we're gonna trim back this tree really, really heavy to let in a lot of sun. One day I might take that tree out, but I'm not ready for it yet. It provides us some privacy in the farmhouse, and it is the favorite day spot for our hummingbirds, and I love those little guys, so I wanna do everything I can to make them comfortable and happy and at home on the farm. My hand is frozen. It is actually really cold out here despite the fact that things are melting. So I'm gonna wrap this one up here. Thank you for walking around the farm with me today. It was really fun to hang out. I hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve and that the start of your year is absolutely wonderful.